Okay, once again, we're here now with the pleasure of being with Minister Thomas Ellis of well, tell us about your program.
Absolutely. Good morning and hello to everyone. I'm Minister Ellis. I'm the president and founder of the Enough is Enough Coalition. And Enough is Enough Coalition is an anti-guns and violence organization that I founded in 1993 in Atlanta, Georgia, working with families and family members whose loved ones have been shot and killed and murdered in the street. And I also am a victim of gunshot violence. I was shot multiple times myself, left for dead in the street New Year's Eve, 1997 going into 98. So, enough is enough. We work with families, we support families, we do a lot of great things. And I thank God because God is really the motivating factor in what we do. It was a calling back in 1993, a calling to work with family members whose loved ones were murdered, a calling to be there to support family members, a calling to bring spirituality to something that is today a major problem in many cities across the country, and that's gun violence. So I just thank God for the calling. And that's what we do. We spiritually come to these families to bring support, prayer, comfort, healing, strength, and that's what we do. But I'm glad to be here with you, Brother Herb. How's everything with you?
Well, let me tell you, it's wonderful that we have an opportunity to build the relationships that we have started. You were one of my first guests, along with the street doctor, and through the inspiration of Minister Ellis, the street doctor, Larry Ham, and others who put their life on the line to go out and do outreach and raise awareness for others, we created We Care Partners. And the partnership has been effective in regard to doing whatever we can to try to establish a way to help individuals who are in need and to find ways in which we can create activities that will build a better community for us all. To the delight of what today, Jujima, where we're celebrating the fourth day of Kwanzaa, and cooperative economics is one of the areas that we really look at. Recently, there was a poll made over about a 30-year period in relationship to showing how gun violence and the crime and particularly the murders that go on in our communities, and it's not just Newark, urban communities in general, that it has become now a relationship of saying that it might be a health issue that's involved with it. Mental health is really a major concern, especially when people are in desperate times and in desperate conditions. What do you think we need to begin to do to focus on ways in which we can emphasize the types of resources that are necessary to change that type of problem that we're having in our communities?
Well, you're right. Mental health plays a great role. Mental health plays a great role in society. There's a lot of people who are running around in the streets who, because mental health facilities could not house them anymore, couldn't afford to keep them. Not all, but some have pushed them back out into the streets. And some people just look. The other day, a lady pushed a man on the train tracks in New York. Mental health. I wrote a piece in a newspaper, a local newspaper. It was titled Guns and Mentality. So we have to have resources, absolutely, that will address people's mental condition. Housing people who have mental condition but not trying to find out what is the root of their problem is a major issue. And so in our community, with all the ills, with the crack cocaine, with all the ills in our community, and the stresses and the hardships that people, that's what's so great about what's going on today. And I'm gonna get back to the mental health issue. But as I look around here today, I see clothes, I see books, I see food being prepared, I see toys that's going to be given out. But more than that, it's going to be some information that's going to be given out that can help somebody. So mental health, we have to look at how we can help our people, help them to overcome what they're going through mentally. We have to have people who's willing to listen and hear people. A lot of the problems, if we had people who would just stop and listen to hear what people are saying, we can pinpoint where there's a problem and then try to direct them to resources or refer them to people who can help them. So what I'm trying to say is that our people have to unite, come together. We have to unite and come together so that we can care. That's the great thing about what you guys are doing. We care. That name is synonymous, man. We care. We need more people to care. Care about people's mental state, care about people's financial state, care about people's home situation. You know how many people is homeless?
That's right.
Not just in Newark, but across the country. Now, if we had more people who were willing to work with homeless people, and a lot of them, some have mental conditions.
True.
But if we can get into and address their condition, and so speaking of mentality, the other month, a police officer in New York went and brought a pair of shoes for a homeless man. I'm talking mentality now. And when it hit the paper, that was the biggest story before Santa Claus. The police officer cares.
Right.
But the young man took the boots off and did something, hit him or something. We have to address the mental side of what's going on. So mentality plays a great role in gun violence. I've been saying for 20 years that a person that will shoot and kill a person has a mental problem. I mean, that's just common sense. The person has a mental problem. Why would you pull a gun out and shoot a person? Why would you kill a person? We have to address mentality, Herb. And so, summing it up, I really like to say if we can find more houses of worship, more community centers, more businesses, more people that want to care and get involved, open up their doors, be a part of the solution and not just sit back and talk about the solution. Today, a lot of people are going to be happy. Why? Because you're meeting their immediate needs. Their immediate need. And that's what we have to do, address the immediate need. We can put a Band-Aid on any sore, but until we truly get down there and address the need, then we'll solve our problem.
Yeah, and looking at the effort that's going on today with the Determining to Achieve Parenting Network, See, Learn, and of course, Minister Ellis with Enough is Enough, and We Care Partners, and we're just a conglomerate of different community outreach organizations that have come together to celebrate Kwanzaa and the idea of being able to create an awareness about what responsible citizenship is about. And as you know, Minister Ellis, the outreach effort that we have begun to create in relationship to educating and doing outreach, coming away from the studio and going out into the community and developing ways in which we can do programs that will help educate people about what's important for them to be responsible citizens. And as we even talk about the issue of mental illness, a lot of us are ashamed and a lot of us are afraid to even acknowledge the fact that there may be something in their lifestyles that's difficult or someone that they know. Listen, if you know of anyone that might even give the impression that there is a problem with their mental state, feel confident that if you call We Care Partners 973-847-1983, we will care about what it is that's important for you to share that information and make sure that it's private. Please reach out and touch someone by showing that you care and letting someone that can help you know exactly what that problem really is. Because we have a lot of situations in our communities where people who are going through a lot of crises, even the ones who have gone through situations where someone in their family may have been a victim of a really unnecessary crime. And you yourself have been going out and praying with families and doing things that are really helpful for them. In your effort, what do you see is going to be able to help you build a better relationship with people who are in need?
Well, I think what will help is more people caring. We care partners. I'm gonna go back. To that, Herb, because the true deal, the real deal. I was in Atlanta and there was a boxer, Holyfield, and his motto, his name was Real Deal Holyfield. The real deal is spirituality.
Okay.
We touched on mentality, but we cannot leave out spirituality. And I find that even though there's a lot of people who go to church on Sunday, the spirituality component is missing. The power is missing. So we need more people who are spiritually, involved to do what they were called to do, which is to love thy neighbor as you love thyself. See, if we had more people loving thy neighbor, most people don't even know who their neighbor is. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself. The spiritual component. Whenever a loved one is murdered of a family member, that is the time, many times, when people come from all over to bring them prayers. But we need to pray for people before their loved ones are murdered, you see. Spirituality. So a lot of what's happening is a lot of our people have religion. And I want people to be very clear on what I'm saying here. A lot of our people have religion, but spirituality, that's what we need. The Spirit of God. You see, the Spirit, once you have the Spirit of God in you, you love, you bring joy, you're about peace, you're about healing, comfort, giving people strength, enriching people. These are people who do this, are people who have the Spirit of God in them. So if we had more people who had the Spirit of God in their life, we would have less murder, we would have less crime, we would have less domestic violence, we would have less evil. I'm not here to preach, but I'm being for real, because this is what our people need, the real deal. And the real deal is that we know that there's two forces. There's a good force and there's an evil force. And when we gravitate to the evil force, then if we let that outweigh the good force, we believe that the evil wins. And in our community, we see what? A lot of evil. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then a lot of people going to church on Sunday. But we need good Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because good always outweigh the bad. And we know that if we can get our people to turn back to spirituality, we'll have the greatest neighborhood, the greatest community, the greatest city, the greatest state that we can live in. Peace. We'll have peace.
Well, we're very happy, Minister Ellis, that you're here. We're going to go out and enjoy ourselves. And for those of you who are watching, please continue to support our efforts. We're working hard together to make sure that people will be aware of all of the wonderful things that we're going to be able to offer in relationship to building responsible citizenship. Thank you, Minister Ellis. I really appreciate it. All right.